Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you may be, and from the sound of this voice, as Art Bell would say, from the great American Southwest, but from here, from the great American GC, Hero Wars Central. Welcome back to another episode of From Day 2015. Tonight's special feature includes open lines with no guest, but the topic of the hour is the past lives line. So struggle in. We'll try to get as many alchemist sets as we can in this hour, as our bell takes us through the midnight in the desert.
From the high desert and the great American Southwest, I bid you good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world's 25 time zones, each and every one covered like a blanket by this program, Midnight in the Desert. I'm Art Bell, and it is my pleasure to be here with you. This night is special, of course, because it's your night. No guests. We hold Fridays, as a general rule, open for no guests. In other words, it's your night. Say what you want. All right, so here's the way it works. We have rules. No bad language and one call per show. Now, on Friday nights, we also try to include the 2-drink minimum. No, wait. 2-drink maximum. You know, I watch the sites and people, I think, intentionally get that rule backwards anyway, right? Convinced of it. So I can make the rule, but, you know, I don't think it's going to get followed. At least that's my experience from previous weeks. I would like to thank, as always, Telos, Joe Talbot, for the great sound. Keith, my webmaster of long time. Heather Wade, my producer, and boy does she do a good job. Stream Guys, LV.net. They get it to Stream Guys, they get it to you. Sales, Pete Eberhardt. Tune In Radio, and of course our own Amy Martin News. There are a couple of items before we open the lines to heaven knows what. Today, as you know, we've been following star KIC 8462852, and guess what, folks? Greenback the scientists monitoring in West Virginia have found intelligence. So there you have it. Okay, let's now look at some back-to-earth stuff. First of all, this is of no earthly interest probably to anybody, but the other night during an interview, I swear to you all, a little mouse came up not more than 18 inches from me and stared at me right in the eye, and I looked at it. We sat there and looked at each other for a little while, and I was so blown away, I didn't know what to do. I started to reach for my iPhone 6 to get a picture, and this mouse I've named Abby Normal was gone. So, last night, I took the napkin that had the bread and a copious amount of peanut butter on it, and I laid it on the floor. Now, I left the studio empty with this on the floor. I mean, even I could smell the peanut butter, right? I came back tonight fully expecting to see it shredded around on the floor, and it hadn't been touched. Not even touched. So what does that tell you? Not even touched. This means to me, this mouse is not in the house. This mouse came somehow from outside to see me, probably never saw a human in its little life, and left again, because there is no way that could have been on the floor untouched all night long. So, makes it just a little weirder, if you ask me. I hope, frankly, that Abby Normal comes back one of these days, for some reason. All right, let's actually look at the real news now. President Obama has said no to the Keystone XL pipeline, declaring it would undercut U.S. efforts to clinch a global climate change deal at the center of his environmental legacy. His legacy, huh? So, no pipeline. I don't know how I feel about that. On the one hand, we probably should build it, I think. I think the president's wrong. In a very abrupt turnaround, after, a brief secret, ultra-secret consultation with the U.S. in London, England, Russia on Friday suspended all passenger flights to Egypt. After days of resistance, apparently what we told them convinced them. They looked at the black boxes in the plane, and they found absolutely nothing but what they say is the sound of an explosion. So, and plus ISIS cut a new video, again claiming responsibility for it all. So now what's going to happen? Is Russia going to begin to bomb ISIS as well as the rebels trying to overthrow Assad? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Knowing the Russians, though, let's put it this way. In my opinion, frequently when we hit back at somebody, we do it by slapping their wrist. The Russians have a different mentality about hitting back. So if you suddenly see, some significant geography in the Sinai missing soon, you'll know they reacted. This is kind of an interesting story. Fred Dunham, a former employee of EG&G Special Projects who worked as a security guard at Area 51, just over the hill from me here, has been successful in claiming compensation for serious health issues which have affected him as a result of his time there. This case has now been taken up by Donna Hand, a workers' advocate of Tampa, who contests the Department of Energy's stance that EG&G is not listed as contractors approved for the compensation program. Hand, of course, disputes that and has documents to support it. So we'll have to see what happens there. In political news, Trump is up a little, Carson down a little, trying to answer questions about his past, and that's kind of it. There's some people who got booted out of the next debate. Well, booted out is an unfair, violent-sounding term. They weren't booted out. They were just demoted. And even Chris Christie didn't like that word, demoted. He said transferred. So it's like when they come to you in school and say, listen, I know you're in the 5th grade, but we're transferring you to the 4th. All right, open lines. Anything you want to talk about is fair game. I am going to open up a special line, sort of in dedication to the quality of last night's show. My God, it was a good show. We talked about past lives. And it really, really, really was interesting. God, what a show. If you're not a time traveler, you should be. You have access to all our past shows. You can listen to them on your iPhone or your Android device or whatever. We've got an RSS feed, and these are good shows. Last night was just over the top good. We talked about past lives. And so that prompts me tonight to open one line at least for people who think they know what their past life was. Now, another reason I'm doing it is because he told this story last night about skiing. Remember, putting on the skis and going rocketing down the slope, and he knew what he was doing. And he had learned that in a past life, right? For me, I think that I was Asian. I really, really do think that, folks. I was Asian. I like Asian culture. I love Asian food. I eat Asian rice virtually every night. I spent a lot of time in Asia. My daughter is named Asia. I could go on. Asian women, of course. So all the way around, I think that in a past life I probably was Asian. I've told my wife that a million times. She's Catholic. I don't know how she is on prior lives. We'll have to talk about that. Anyway, if you think you know what you were in a previous life, the number for you is area code, are you ready? 575-208-7787. Once again, area code 575-208-7787. I will also open the first-time caller line. If you have never called this show, it's area code 775-285-5800. I'll try and repeat this. I know I forget. 775-285-5800. I guess I need to have Ross cut some more with these new numbers. And by the way, when I pick up your line, if you are listening to a radio station, please give their call letters, give them credit, okay? I also forget to do that all the time. We've got more and more coming on all the time. So give their call letters if you can. And something else is nagging at me that I was supposed to do, but I don't recall what it was. So we'll go to break. There is something else. What was it? This is what happens when you get old. I'm just going to go ahead and go to break, think about what it was. Maybe it'll come to me through the gray fog.
And again, we'll return to them when the musical bumper is complete.
Midnight in the desert doesn't screen calls. We trust you, but remember, the NSA, well, to call the show, please dial 1-952-225-5278. That's 1-952-CALL-ART. Yes, all right, so I thought Keith was screwing with me, actually, with a psychic treadmill repairman, really? I was sure he was messing with me, but no. All right, so I meant to finish up on two things. It did cross the gray matter, and I got it. Time travelers get all kinds of, advantages, frankly. You can download any show, RSS, play it any time you want. You can use the wormhole, which I've got right next to me, and read from all the time. Somebody wants me to have a section of the show called Wormhole Corner. I don't know, that's kind of corny, where I just sit and read wormhole messages. But maybe I'll have to come up with wormhole corner. I'm not going to call it that. Sounds like out of the 1950s or 40s or something. If you want to become a time traveler, you go to artbell.com, my website, artbell.com, and then it'll be right there hitting you in the eye. Join the time travelers, and you get a lot of stuff for it, including my gratitude. So there was that, and then the talk. I get so many requests for this. It's just unbelievable. People just writing me emails, phone calls. It never ends. Even a few texts from people I know wanting to talk. Okay, here's the talk. You can sound better than the people on the phone. They sound pretty good because we've got a superb phone system actually here. And by the way, that's really true. We do. But you can sound better on Skype. More authoritative, clear, the whole ball of wax. And it's so easy to do. If you've got a portable device of some sort, even, frankly, your computer. It doesn't matter. The world has changed. I know you've got one of them. So download Skype. It's free. Skype is free. All the way around. Free. Always free. Of course, Microsoft might change that, but for now it's free. And then you can put us in there. If you're in North America, meaning America and Canada, please enter, as though you would a new contact. There's a little plus sign for it up there. Put in MITD 51 for North America. MITD 51 for North America. Rest of the world, MITD 55. And even if you don't call right away, it's all right. You'll have it in there in your contacts after you've done that, and you can go back to it and just go and call us for free from anywhere, virtually anywhere in the world. With that in mind, let us begin. It's hard to know where to start. Everything's full, as you might imagine. So let's, I guess, go here. Rochester, New York, I'm guessing.
Rochester, New York.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, turn your device off, please.
Okay.
I can hear it in the background.
Sorry about that.
Can't have that. I mean, once you're on the line, you don't need it. You can hear it on the phone.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
So what's on your mind?
Well, it's in regards to last night's show.
Yes.
I actually had a question, and I don't know if it's something that you would be willing to answer, but I was wondering if you think that past lives influence your future or present life, and if there's signs, like how can you tell if it does?
Okay, well, obviously I'm not the expert, but I think that's what it's all about, hon. That past lives influence your current life. So the answer is yes and yes.
But if you have no idea what your past lives were, are there some kind of signs that you can look for that show? I don't know. I find it a little...
I don't either. I mean, if you find yourself drawn to a cat box, then,
Right.
Other than that, look, I'm not the expert. I'm just the talk show host.
Right. Well, I appreciate the time.
You really don't find yourself drawn to cat boxes, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Other than I do like cats, but I'm not as one. Yeah.
And it's not like when you see one, anyway, go ahead.
No. My husband, he was dying to say hello. Do you mind if I put him on?
I don't know. Does he sound pretty good?
He does sound pretty good.
All right, yeah, put him on.
All right, thanks so much.
Hi, Art. This is Dan from Rochester, and I'm a very, very excited new caller to the show. I just started on September 18th and have listened to several of your past interviews, and I think you're just an incredible person for turning everybody on.
Thank you. It's kind of an eclectic show. We do, and I think people forgot that over the years. I do all kinds of things, not just paranormal, not just anything really, whatever I find cool and interesting.
Exactly, and it piques the listener's curiosity, and it challenges their intellect quite severely in some cases, but in a great way. Everything is very, very positive.
Yeah.
And we're very anxious to sign up and donate and be a part of it. It's fantastic.
Well, you don't have to donate. You don't have to donate, but if you sign up, it's a hell of a deal. Really, it is. I mean, you get all these past shows, and I think we're coming up on 75 shows in this incarnation right now, and it is full of interesting stuff. So you can just download it and listen to it at your leisure.
Which I have, and it's really opened my mind to time travel. And I have a quick question. If I could use a time machine to visit with one of my past life incarnates.
Yes.
Could I do that? Could I go back and from this time period or timeline that I'm on?
Yeah, okay. The problem would be, how would you know when you found you? I mean, even if you went back to, say, 1700, whatever, how would you know?
You would have to search for yourself, I would imagine, or possibly
big job.
If you had some genealogy traced back to, say, the 1700s, where you knew, in my family's case, I had a governor in a town of Lyme Regis, England,
Yeah, but let's think about this for a second, sir. Even if you got back in time and you met up with the person you're talking about right now, and you presented them with genetic evidence that you were the same, do you know what they would do with you in 1700?
Oh, I would be a heretic, most likely.
You'd be locked away in a rubber room. Genetic what?
I would.
Are you crazy?
Well, you wouldn't have to, you would have to use your best Downton Abbey, accent and play dumb, as it were.
Yes, exactly. So,
but I do think you could communicate on a level of the time period without exposing yourself. You could be very cautious.
Well, I don't know.
Do you think it's possible? I mean, I think you could narrow down the region that you were in, and you'd certainly know.
This is why I recommend. I want you to go out and somehow get a copy of a movie called I Origins.
I will.
Okay. I want some feedback after you get it. Okay.
I will. Very good. Well, this is Dan from Rochester, so I will definitely check back with you, and it's such a pleasure to talk to you. I can't even tell you.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.
And
oops, sorry about that. I thought we were done. All right, let's go here. You're on the air. Good evening. Hello there. Going once.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm listening on the phone. I didn't hear you. This is Eric from Clemens, North Carolina.
Are you a first-time caller, I would take it?
Yes, sir, I am. I've been listening to you since way back when we both didn't have any gray hair. I want to thank you for getting me through many night shifts in hospital laboratories across the country.
Wow.
Way back.
Are you listening on radio or the internet?
I am listening to through Dark Matter on the TuneIn radio app.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say hi to my buddies out there at the Midnight Fans Forum. I'm sure they're all like, oh, that's him.
Yeah, guys, that's him.
Anyway, glad you're back. Oh, my God, can't say. Of course, that's probably the millionth time you've heard that. I don't know if this counts really as a past life, but I had a dream once, and it was if you have one of those dreams where you smell the smells, you feel the textures. It's almost like you've stepped into, like on a stage. It was like so realistic. I felt like I was actually there. It wasn't so much a dream state. It was like I was really there.
Okay. Did the dream involve you?
Yeah, it was from my point of view. It wasn't like I was looking at a character. It was like I was standing flat-footed on this, like in a Grecian, Mediterranean-type stonework pier.
Wow.
Like there was a boathouse to my, best thing I can do to describe it is a boathouse with columns, made of stone. I looked up from that, and there's this wall of water, and the next thing I know, I'm being obliterated by the rubble that's in the water. And it's kind of an it was kind of an alarming thing, but it was so realistic.
Perhaps your death in a previous life, huh?
I'm wondering. It's like I said, it was, I didn't.
Okay, let me note something here, sir. Thank you so very much for the call, and let me note something quickly, and that is, when we dream, don't we always dream about ourselves? In other words, have any of you ever had a dream that in which you were completely somebody else? That would be weird, right? Another creature, another person. The dream was not, you were nowhere in the dream whatsoever. I mean, I'm always in my dreams, I think. I'm trying to think back, but I cannot recall a time I've had a dream that I wasn't part of it. It was part of my past or something like that. And I've never been back in the 17 or 1800s either. Hello there on a cell phone somewhere. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
This is Julie in Colorado.
Julie in Colorado. Hi, Julie.
Yeah. Hey, Art. So glad you're back on the air.
Thank you. It is.
I've listened to you.
It's not the same when I'm not on the air. I don't know why. It's like I was made to do this, I guess, or did it in a past life.
You were made to do it. Well, I have to tell you this. I have to tell you, I've been trying to call in for weeks that I saw a structure.
You mean a mega structure?
I saw the mega structure in 2007. I was, I had to go open a business that I used to run, and it was at 3 a.m. Drove to the business that I run and let an employee in, and then I drove back home.
You're not talking about the mega structure that we've been talking about, are you?
Yes.
How could you have seen that? I mean, even with the best... Yes.
I saw it. I saw it because I called my husband, and this was about 3:30 in the morning, and I said, I'm looking at a UFO.
So you didn't like shout, honey, a mega structure, come quick.
No, I didn't. I didn't know how to describe it. I didn't know how to describe it, and I closed my eyes really tight and opened them again, and I'm just to make sure that I wasn't just.
All right, hold on. We've got a break. We've got a break. Hold on.
And again, we'll return to them when the musical bumper is complete. Sorry about the yawn. Yeah, I'm picking a couple more than I thought I would, but right now I need 160 of them.
Line by two, call Art. Who sings with that much enthusiasm? Boy, is that something, that song. Welcome, everybody. It's open lines. Anything goes. Anything you want to talk about is fair game. National number, 952-225-5278. The other numbers of interest, Past Lives line at area code 575-208-7787. That's 575-208-7787. I have to have rules to do this. First-time callers at area code 775-285-5800. That's 775-285-5800. And the young lady who was on the air with me prior to the break is now back. Where were we?
Hi, Art.
Hi.
I was telling you about the mega structure.
Oh, yes.
I saw in 2008.
Well, okay. But, I mean, you were on Earth, right?
I was on Earth.
Yes, and you were looking in the sky, I presume, and you said sort of UFO, right? Yes.
Well, it was unidentified. It doesn't look like any UFO that you see, you see pictures of. Now, this was like a structure. So
it's like a UFM, unidentified flying megastructure.
Yes. And I didn't know how to describe it until the last couple of weeks when you started talking about this megastructure.
Gotcha.
And I said to my husband, that's it. That's what I saw. Because I could draw a picture of it, but I could never explain it to anyone. And,
okay, then I have an assignment for you.
Yes.
Draw a picture of it and send it to me.
I will.
Okay, send it to KNY. Well, let's see. How do I want to do this? Art Bell at KNYE. Can you do that?
KNYE?
Yes. People get it all messed up. They get dyslexic with it. It's KNYE. I don't know why people want to do it the other way. I won't even say it or it'll stick. But send me that photograph. I'd love to see it.
Well, it'll be me drawing it. I will draw it and send it to you. And it was huge. And I just wanted to let you know that somebody has seen it.
All right. I will just take your word on that. I have no way of knowing if you saw the megastructure or a megastructure, actually. Let's go here to our first-time caller line, actually. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Oh, hey, Mr. Bell. Boy, this is an honor. Hey, I just wanted to tell you, I've been listening to you for years, and this is calling from KCAA, which is near Idlewild, California.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, all right, yeah, put in a good plug. Anyhow, I only get you for an hour on this, and then I switch over to your antithesis, and that's George Norrie, who actually bashed you last night about the whole megastructure thing.
No.
Yeah, so
He bashed me.
But anyhow.
Well, no, wait. But don't just leave it at that. Hold it. What did he say?
Oh, well, this is after he was justifying that the earth produces oil abiotically. I mean, the guy's out of his mind. But anyhow, he was saying that, some people exaggerate what they find, or they exaggerate the finds of scientists. Which I don't think you were doing at all. I mean, take it for what it's worth. But the reason I call is, I wonder, I listened to you 20 years ago. Do you ever feel like you were set up by Richard Hoagland? And I'll just go off the phone. Thank you so much, Art.
Set up? No, not really. I don't think I was set up at all. I looked at rocks with Richard for years. The one he got me with was the thing that a lot of other people, by the way, have found and said, look, this is artificial. There's no question about it. Maybe it came from our space program. Maybe not, but there was a pipe sticking out of it. What he called number 9, I believe, right? So, and as far as my making a big deal out of this story, it is a big deal. Now, nobody's saying that it's aliens. Well, actually, Jason Wright mentioned that. I've not said that. I've said it could be. And I don't know why he bashed me, actually, for saying that, because it would be the biggest story of our lifetimes. Absolutely no question about it, if it turned out to be anything at all. All the indications are, and I've had leaks from NASA, as you know, leaks from the scientists trying to puzzle it out. Nobody has knocked it down yet. So it remains an item of intense interest. And so if he wants to bash me for that, who cares? That's just, well, there's a word. I won't use it. Hello, Undead, I believe it's Undead Quake Guy. That's your name, right?
Hello there, Art.
Undead Quake Guy. How did you come up with a name like that?
Well, it's a bit of a moniker that the village up here in Canada gave me, to be honest. I'm extremely talented at an old game called Quake on the PC. And, well, it was Halloween, and so I decided to change it to Undead. Frankly, I've just been asleep for too long and forgot to change it.
Well, it makes you distinctive, that's for sure. My daughter was watching Pixels earlier, and I was watching guys play Donkey Kong.
Yes, a classic, Art, an absolute classic. I was calling in for two quick things. Wanted to have a little bit of discussion about the megastructure.
Yes.
And how it could have been built. But first I want to give you an update about my cow. I called in a week or two ago when you had the witch on.
Okay.
You asked me to call you back for a bit of an update on the cure that she gave me for the cow. And I want to let you know she should not be the local witch, because I fed my cow exactly what she told me to, which was milk and honey.
And what happened?
And of course, she was the only cow in the village, so I gave her milk and honey, and a week later she passed away, and unfortunately I won't be able to marry my wife now, because that was the dowry.
There's tragedy, and then there's this call. I mean, my God, that's awful.
Just cacked right on the barnyard floor. So that witch, I just don't know. I really think you should give her a pass. But onto something a little more extraterrestrial.
Yes.
Allow me, if you would, a moment of Socratic dialogue. If they're going to be creating a Dyson sphere, that would require a massive amount of materials, would it not?
Oh, you would.
And in order to harness such material, they would most likely need to be gathering minerals from at least all over their solar system at the least, correct?
At the least.
However, what if, instead of going around gathering all of these resources, they had something what is called a universal constructor? Have you heard of this, Art?
Well, is it from Star Trek?
Universal constructor is not from Star Trek, no, is it from Star Wars? Unfortunately, it's actually a concept that goes back several decades in science, sort of the philosopher's stone of science, if you will, being able to put materials into this machine, and then it rewrites the code at the subatomic level, moves the particles around, and changes it into the particle of what you need. For instance, lead to gold or silicon to petroleum.
That's kind of like Star Trek, in a way.
I was just wondering if you've had any guests or any scientists or anything of the sort that might have brought it up, because I do believe it's a fascinating topic, and it might be the only way that we as mankind manage to reach out past the solar system, because we're having a rough time managing our own resources as it is.
We could certainly use a universal constructor, there's no question about it. But all the scientists that I was aware of that had anything to do with that project came to untimely ends.
I wouldn't be surprised at all, Art. Well, anyways, thank you very much for allowing me on. I just want to give you an update about the cow. Hopefully, her family can find some other sort of dowry, or this cow farmer is just going to become a normal farmer. Have yourself a good night.
Get off my line. Thank you. Let's go here to, I believe, Washington, and say you're on the air.
Hello, Art.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. I wanted to let you know we've had problems in our area where we have these little local mice. They're kind of the little forest mice.
Yes.
And they will get into the engine of your car, and they love to eat the wiring.
It's happened to me.
Yeah, and they love when they get in to a house.
Let me tell you how bad. Let me tell you how bad it was. We had a mouse that got in the heater, the heater part of the car?
Yeah.
And the fan part. And we had little mouse pieces coming out.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Oh, it was awful. It was absolutely awful. And little mouse pieces and fur kept coming out for a long, long time.
Oh, it's a tragedy. Well, mine last year, one of them got in my van outside, and it started, the engine light came on, and I called my mechanic, and he went into it. He's a really good mechanic. And $1,200 later, he told me he immediately came up with photos and everything of what they had done. And we got the parts and everything, put everything together. But he said there's so much wiring that they'd shooting through. And he showed me all these photos he'd taken in there, and I could actually see down in there.
Well, now I'm not worried. You know why? Yeah, I've got a lot of wiring here, of course. But I left the peanut butter and bread on the floor last night, didn't touch it. This to me means that mouse is not in this house.
Well, you know what they love? Because I had some help. I was donating at the wildlife shelter over here, and they hate to kill animals, and they had a lot of rodents coming in at night and even eating some of the birds that were in the cages that they were trying to rehab. So,
yes.
Yeah, it was tragic. So what they did, they were trying everything to try to trap, put them in rat traps, and they couldn't bait. They tried peanut butter, everything. And they finally used Cheetos, and the things, you'd even hear them snapping during the day. They love Cheetos or something.
Cheetos, huh?
Cheetos, that's the best.
Well, okay, I get it, but thank you very much. I am convinced. My mouse, Abby Normal, is not in the house. There is no way that a mouse could not smell peanut butter probably 5 rooms away. So that little gal, I do believe, came to me, wanted to see a human, saw me, and left. That's the only explanation, right? Because how could she not have eaten the peanut butter overnight? Simple as that. let's go to our first-time caller line. How about there? Hello, you're on the air. Going once? Yes.
This is Jonathan. I really enjoyed a very interesting interview with the gentleman that does the past life regressions yesterday. Very fascinating. I want to suggest two alternate possibilities of how to interpret what people are experiencing there. First of all, if there are beings, whether good or malevolent, who are as much bigger than us as we are than bacteria, they could, if they wanted to, give us the impression that we are experiencing a past life regression. They could mess with our minds just like we do with experimenting with bacteria and
I suppose
small creatures of that sort. So if they had an agenda that involved confusing us about the afterlife, that is a possibility that I don't see how we could rule out. But the second one that occurred to me was that when you have a love relationship, when you really empathize with someone, whether
can I ask you a quick question? What are you talking on anyway?
Oh, I'm talking on a mobile headset. Is it hard to hear?
It's awful, actually. Is it? You mean like Bluetooth?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to demonstrate this for everybody's good. What I want you to do, stay on the line, disconnect the Bluetooth, and talk directly into the phone instead.
Okay, you got it.
All right, I'll wait.
Let me disconnect. It won't take long.
All right, good. I'll wait. I want you to...
Here I am. I'm on the phone directly.
Now, that sounds so much better. So much better. Don't ever use Bluetooth and phone. That's what Bluetooth does to a phone, folks. All right, back to matters of love.
Okay, that's a good learning for me. Yeah, if you empathize with someone, whether it's the empathy of friendship or romantic love, especially when you're a child, sometimes the distinctions between your ego, who you are and who they are, can be dissolved. Especially if the love is really strong, you really identify with that person. So why couldn't it be possible that whether psychically or through remote viewing that people are doing, that these people are empathizing with a person in the past, or like you said, there were some people who were parallel, who were living at the same time as them, that you're deeply empathizing with. It doesn't necessarily follow from that you are that person.
Well, yes, I do. Interesting. The program last night really brought all kinds of questions to my mind. We're not done with that man by a long, long shot. I mean, there are so many questions. Skype brings somebody named Action.
Oh, this is Ross in St. Louis, Missouri.
Ross, hello.
How you doing? Hey,
hi.
Had a few things for you. Sorry.
All right, that's all right.
First time Skype
right
user, so I'm having a hard here.
Uh-oh, now you're breaking up.
Okay.
You're breaking.
Is this any better?
A little bit better, yes. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I had a couple past lives for you that I thought that I'd like to hear about.
With this kind of connection, I'll take one past life.
Okay, that's fine. Just real quickly then, I meditated many nights in a row about trying to get to a past life. So right before I'd fall asleep in that kind of gray area, I would listen to myself say over and over again what was past life that I needed to know about.
Okay.
And what it came out was nothing important. I was a monk on a road, and we were being invaded, and I stabbed.
I would say that's pretty serious, actually.
Well, I mean, death itself may be serious, but the role, I wasn't some pharaoh or a...
No, I've got it. You were a monk. But, yes, thank you very much. Look, that's pretty interesting stuff, right? If you were a monk, I say interesting. Very, very interesting, actually. At least you know more than I do. I just sort of generally know I was Asian. And I'm not even sure that I know that. It could, but it does seem likely, actually. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Art.
Art, indeed.
Hey, I started listening to you, well, actually watching you in 2000 with your show with Ramona on TV here in Peru.
No, wait. Ramona and I never, ever did a show here in Peru. So
Really?
I appreciate the fact that you like the show. There is a couple that does a show, or did a show some years ago. I don't know if they still do, but that wasn't me.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken for that.
Sorry.
I lost my eyesight in 2003, so I exponentially enjoyed radio from that point on. But, and I'm so glad that you're back on, and every kudo you get is truly deserved. But the other thing, may I recommend a book?
Yes?
I don't read, of course, because I'm blind, but I listen to them about 5 a week for about 12 years now.
Okay, real quick, because we're out of break. What's the name?
Death in the Pines by Tom Hartman.
Death in the Pines. Sounds painful. All right, we've got a break here. I appreciate the call. Open lines.
And again, we're muted until they're back from their musical bumper. We may do one more segment before we say goodbye to one another.
Midnight in the Desert. Please dial 1-952-CALL ART. That's 1-952-225-5278. You know, on Fridays I get to play around a little more with bumper music, and I do. I play everything, actually. Fridays are open lines, and that's exactly what we're in the middle of right now. So if you are just joining us, here's the deal. Anything goes. All right? We've got a national line of area code 952-225-5278. You can call that one. You can call the, we do have a special past lives line. That would be area code 575-208-7787. 575-208-7787. And first time callers to the program, area code 775-285-5800. And the talk. No, I'm not going to do it again. Everybody just cringed, right? Hello there. You're on the air from, on our special line, actually. Hello?
Yes, me?
Yes, you.
Well, what I figured was back in, 66, 67, drove with my parents back to Maryland. We took the Deep South route. We were going to family reunion in Maryland, and starting in Mississippi, Alabama, up in through the Carolinas, we would go through towns in little, small towns.
Yeah.
We were taking a lot of the, the blue highways, because my dad liked to do that.
Are you like chewing gum?
Oh, sorry, it's gone.
Like a fifth grade school teacher.
I'm seriously chewing my nicotine gum.
I see.
Smoking.
All right.
Anyway, we'd go into these little towns. I'd know exactly what was going to be there before we, hit the main street.
Deja vu, constantly.
In several towns.
Yeah.
And I thought about that a long time. And it wasn't, terribly long ago. It was mostly 20s and 30s, pre-Depression. I said, now what would get me all over the South and moving like that all the time and being real familiar with all this, and a traveling salesman.
So you think you were a traveling salesman in the South?
Well, that's the only way I could explain it.
Any idea what you were selling?
No idea at all. It's just all these little towns.
Back then, it could have been like encyclopedias.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Sure.
But I just figured that the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, what would get me around? And then I happened to be watching, for about the third time, I was watching 76 Trombones. I was watching all these people on the train. They're salesmen, and they travel all over these places. They do it on a regular basis.
They do, yeah.
Maybe that's what I was doing. I was born in 51, and my dad, now I never took to sales. I was terrible at sales all my life. So I, tried it 2 or 3 times and it didn't go. So my dad was a salesman, and he knew all the little towns in Central and Northeast and Northeast Texas and East Texas, and he just enjoyed the heck out of it. And he's quite successful with it. And
you're not violating Rule 3, are you?
What's Rule 3?
Rule 3 is a 2-drink minimum.
I haven't drunk anything, not with the medications I take.
I see. Okay, it's medication. Sorry. Okay, well, I get it. So you were a traveling salesperson back in, who knows when. Remember the days they used to knock on the door? Knowledge for your children, ma'am. I remember those days. Now, encyclopedia salespeople are no more. I don't think they have them anymore. The Internet has taken that all away. Okay. Gosh, so many people calling at once. You're on the air. Good evening, morning, whatever.
Hey, Art, how are you?
I'm well.
2-drink minimum. I got to start drinking.
Every time I say it one way or the other. People know what I'm talking about, but twist it on purpose. So now I'm saying it either way.
Do you want to catch them, kill them, or feed them?
I don't care. I'm not my brother's keeper in this case. Let him have that.
Try a piece of bacon, fried ham.
Oh, you're talking about the mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, if bread with copious amounts of peanut butter on it will not bring a mouse to nibble, it can't be done. This mouse obviously came from outside and returned to the outside.
The peanut butter that they're selling today, they don't like it anymore.
Oh, come on.
I'm telling you.
This is good Skippy stuff, smooth.
That's the same stuff I got.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, every time I use it, they pass it by.
Oh, sure. You're telling me mice don't like peanut butter anymore? Come on.
I don't know. It's something in the mix that they're using today. I'm telling you.
Well, now you're scaring me. I mean, if a mouse won't go for peanut butter, and you're telling me there's something in there, I don't buy that. I eat a lot of Skippy. I'm okay.
Put out a piece of bacon or a piece of fried ham or the last one that.
I'm not trying to throw the last dinner for Abby Normal here. I was just trying to see if Abby Normal really was here, and I maintain that if Abby Normal would not go for the peanut butter, Abby Normal's gone.
I bet you put out a piece of meat, you'll find it's gone in the morning.
All right. Well, I'm also not trying to attract Bigfoot, so I'm done. I've done as much as I can. Let me go overseas to Mark. I think in.
Hi, Art.
Hello.
Hi, Art. The sun is.
You sound like you're at the bottom of a barrel, Mark.
Really?
Now you sound a little different. What are you doing?
I'm sitting here with my iPad, and I just changed the volume control. Maybe that makes it better.
Okay, here's the deal, Mark. Find where the microphone is.
Okay. Is that better?
It is better.
Okay. A couple of things. You just gave a clue to me why the mouse didn't come. You said you're using Skippy Smooth peanut butter.
Yeah. Remember that?
Sophisticated mouse, Art. He wants chunky.
Leave me alone.
Okay, then I have something else for you.
Good. What's that?
There was an emergency landing. I don't know if this was picked up in the U.S. press. An emergency landing of a Singapore Airlines freight plane this week carrying 1,268 live goats from Singapore to Malaysia.
I bet go
ahead.
Must have been some cleanup.
The reason the plane had to make an emergency landing is that the methane gas alarms went off in the plane.
That's why I said it must have been messy. You know,
which leads to the question, Art.
Yes.
Who cut the goat cheese?
Oh, Mark, go away. Let's go here to New Jersey, I think. Hello.
Good morning, Art. It's Ed from New Jersey. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm okay.
Wanted to touch on a few things with you. One great Dead Air show last Friday night.
It was a lot of fun.
Top notch. I had called in and told you the story about the coffin being found in the backyard with the small child.
Oh, yes.
Look. Anyway, a couple things. One, when you had Bill Burns and the other gentleman on the same week,
yes,
they were talking about the Amityville case.
Yes.
Has anyone ever reached out to the children to ask them if they were told to lie about this or they went along with it?
Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to answer your question, all right? We're in touch with Christopher. And that's all I'm going to say right now. I repeat, we're in touch with Christopher. Now, I don't know whether he wants to come on the air. I don't know whether he wants to tell his story. But my producer is indeed in touch with Christopher Lutz. So we'll see what happens. But that was quite a show, wasn't it? Let's go to Skype and Tony. Hi, Tony.
Hey, how you doing, Art?
I'm doing okay.
Good. I wanted to tell you how learning about my past life has affected my entire life.
Okay.
You still there? Okay.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in the Navy when I was quite young. And I was on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. I used to work there. And when we didn't have flight ops, I would go up and go to sleep in these nets that hung over the side that would catch you if you happen to fall off or get blown off. And I used to go there when there was no flight ops, of course, and jump into them and go to sleep.
Okay.
And it would be, in the middle of the ocean, and it was unbelievable. The sleep was very, very heavy. And I would have some truly amazing dreams. And I used to dream over and over again about being up in the balcony, in a building on the second floor, in the balcony painting a portrait of a woman. And obviously it was, at one of the old country towns, small village. And it would wake me up. It was so strong. And what would happen would I'd be looking out onto the town square. Obviously, the building was right on the town square, and there was a fountain in the middle. And the light would start. It would start small, and then it'd get real, real bright till it blinded me. And I was painting at the time a portrait of a woman.
Okay, we have limited time here, so let's rush to
I'm sorry?
Rush to the conclusion if we can.
Okay, I'm sorry. And what happened there is I actually made it, of course, we went to a lot of ports overseas, and I happened to come across a little village in Spain. And in that village, as I was walking through it with one of my shipmates, we seen a fountain in the middle of the square, and I recognized it, and that was it. That was the fountain. That was the one. And it was the building. Yeah. And I knew that I was there at one time. Well, the way it affected me the rest of my life is I realized at that point in time, I still had a few more years left in the Navy. I realized at a point in time that, my artistic talents that I had when I was younger, I needed to develop, and I did. And I spent my life doing artwork, actually military artwork. And it just was amazing. Now, what actually happened is after we did see the light go, after I did see the fountain where the light went off, I went into the backyard of the building, and there was another fountain back there made out of a seashell. And I seen that in my dream originally. I wanted to cut the dream a little short for time.
Okay.
So I was convinced.
So that was like the second piece of proof you needed to decide you had indeed been there at a prior time. Yeah, okay, I get it. I'm not sure how I would handle that either. If you saw something absolutely that you had dreamt about, or that was from a prior life, never had been to that location, geographic location before, ever, and yet there it was. So, do you think this proves reincarnation? It's an interesting question. I've got a lot of people who have put messages, speaking of, Roger, for example. All right. Past lives. Bunk. Hebrews 9:27 is appointed unto men once to die. But after this, the judgment. And that would be the view of many, many people. It offends their religious sensibilities, right? So think about that a little bit. If reincarnation were real, well, it can't be, right? Not according to the Bible. We die but once, then we get judged. It has to be that way. So this kind of talk is from a heretic? On my first-time caller line, you are on the air.
Art Bell.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great. How about you?
Good. This is Rich from New Jersey.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, that alien megastructure thing that's going on, do you think that could possibly be us from the future trying to signal us now?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the scientists at Greenback. Nothing is, right?
You fuzzed out for me, like, through your whole comment, which sucked.
I was waiting for somebody to bring that up.
You fuzzed out on me, but I'm a time traveler, so I'll check back with you, but...
All right, thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Finally.
Yeah, we're going to leave it there for tonight as we've leveled up and we've picked up a decent number of Alchemist sets. Please make sure you do like, share, and subscribe. Get us to those goals of both 5,000 views and 1,000 subscribers so both Boxy Nexters and YouTube pay attention. CoinBase information below. Fill it out to get your free crypto and purchase here in Dominion. And until we do meet again, it's always a great new world to release the Krakens. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see everybody here tomorrow from day one.